What's going on, boys and squirrels? Today we're gonna go ahead and install some brakey boys on the Cougar. So basically everything's disassembled, cleaned up a little bit. There's a little bit of like rusty boys here and there from, you know, transporting this guy in the salt to get the floors done, but that's okay. We've got the old rotors off, and as you probably know, these are gonna be the hub rotor and everything assembled together. So we're gonna have to pack some bearings and whatnot before we install them onto this. Yeah, so let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is I think we're gonna install this bracket onto this side, something like that, and then we can get an idea of how this is gonna attach. So let me put you on a tripod and we'll go from there. So essentially this bolt will come in through back here. There's a little hole I can put my finger through. We'll come through around back there, squeeze on into here, and then that will thread into this, and this guy is going to go down here into this hole. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So it's going to have to go not on this side, but on the inside, I would assume, in order to thread it into place properly. Rip. So we'll put this guy in kind of like that. Can thread in that top bolt just to hold it in place. And we'll go in through the back and get to that bottom. And there we go. We just tighten that up into place, and then that will be our bracket for the caliper to go onto. So now we can take a look at our rotors, and there's going to be a bearing that sits right into here and another one that goes in behind here. So let's go look for those. So the small boy for the front will fall out eventually. We will take this off because there's already one inside there for us. Put that aside, and we will put this in here after we put some grease into here. So we'll go ahead and get some greasy boys, and we'll put some in the palm of our hand and just slowly start packing it until it comes out on the other end.
I don't have 20.
Now that you got that all greasy, you just drop it right in. Oh yeah. Give her a little. So now the other bearing, we'll just drop in place in the back. Just like that. Now we can go ahead and clean ourselves, and we can throw this back on to the hub. So let's do that. Now we can go pick this boy up, and we can slide it onto the hub. Try not to lose the bearing off the front, and slides nice and good. Alright, now we can go ahead and install these. So I put a little bit more grease inside the hub just because there's some space. Never have too much grease. And then put this guy on top. Oh, rip. Alright, try it again. You get your 1 1/8 wrench on this bad boy. Get some grease on her and tighten her up to where it's like pretty tight. You want it to spin freely, so you get a real tight lack, and I think you just back it off like a little bit just so that it spins. There we go. Then you stick this boy on there. Don't mind the blood. And then you put a cotter pin right through her. Just like that. And there you go. You got your discs on there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the calipers and see if we can install those. Okay, boys. We're going to take a break from working here, and we're going to look at these beautiful crawfish straight from the river. You're going to ask, did we purge these to make sure there's no shit in them? Absolutely not. We just put them right in. But we did add some seasoning. We tested it with some shrimpy boys right there, and they were delicious. But there's one little issue. They smell like the river. But I don't know what the river tastes like. So it could taste good, it could taste bad. We're gonna try it out. But first, we're gonna give her the hose.
I like it.
Actually looks really good. You see there's a little bit of shit on it. Give her a little rinse.
Oh, overboard.
Just going for a walk. It's like panning for gold, you know? You know how they get the sand out at the end? You just get the shit out. You give it a little shake. Don't lose your gold. Okay, we put some seasoning into there. And we've got just a little mix of the crawfish and the seasoning. We're gonna, you know, give her. We hose that.
Okay,
Alright,
well,
that one's fine.
That was a surprise.
We're not worried because we're not eating the shells. We're gonna eat what's inside. So it doesn't matter if a little bit of dirt gets on them. Roll up our sleeves because we're not cavemen. We get the biggest one we can find. It's hot. It's hot. This is my boy Jimothy. He's got the big boy claws.
Hello, Jimothy.
So I'm thinking we just
Yep.
give her one of these.
Oh, that looks nasty.
It smells like the river.
Uh-huh.
Still like the river. So how do you eat this?
Just suck on that.
I want to open it and get the meat out. Look at that. So, well, there's a little bit of shit in there. So
Get the hose.
we're gonna get her out. We're gonna dip her.
Alright. And first impressions.
It's not bad.
Do you taste anything though?
Nope. I don't taste anything. It tastes
Alright.
like Cajun.
I think that's a plus.
Pretty good.
I think that's a plus in our books.
So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put these little rubber thingamabobs, I don't know what they're called, through here. Okay, we lost that one. So we're gonna take another one and we're gonna go put it through here. Squeeze her in, maybe lubricate her a little bit. So if you wanna get these in properly, or like easily I mean, just put a little bit of grease on them and they'll squeeze on in pretty good. And then, well, it worked for the first one. I don't know about this one. There we go. Now they're in place. And yeah, now we can go ahead and put our pads into the calipers. So I think I'm gonna slide these brakes just back here for now. I don't know the correct way to install these, instimulate these. Oh, they don't want to go on. I would imagine it's something like this. They slide in here, and then these guys can pop back out in front. Again, this is not a tutorial. This is just me trying to figure out how this works. Those go there. So remember to lubricate these. Put some anti-seize on that. I will go back and do that because I don't have any anti-seize on me right now. And then the front pads, they'll go on here like this. And you'll notice there's these little clips. So I'll show you what those are for. So you go ahead and slide these pins in. Just like that. Just like that. Alright, and then once these, you can kind of get a feel for that, you just slide them in those little holes there. And then on this side, you take your clippy boys and you kind of squeeze them on there. Okay. Okay, so basically the clips will go on like that. They're a pain in the ass to get on, but it is what it is. So now we can look into actually installing the caliper onto the bracket. So I'm gonna do the hose later. Don't worry, I got a new hose for this, but I'll do another video where I plumb the lines and everything. Mind you, it probably would be easier to do this off the car, but it's whatever. So we'll squeeze this boy on there, and it's new, so obviously it's gonna squeeze on pretty easily and slide onto place. And then we can put this boy in the back. So I'm gonna show you basically after how it all looks like off this, but for now I'm just gonna go ahead and install this piece on just to make it look pretty and whatnot. But 2 bolts holding the caliper, 2 bolts onto the bracket, and these boys will go in place. But first we're gonna put some grease on it, and then we'll slide her into the holes. So get them nice and greased up, nice and lubed, and then they will slide into their little holes. Might have to do some jiggling. Okay, so the looks like the bottom one looks like it's gonna go in, but the top one doesn't want to. What in the hell? So it's essentially how the back side of that went on, just to give a little explanation. So if we're on the passenger side of the vehicle, or sorry, the driver's side of the vehicle, this is facing the front of the vehicle, and then this will go on top like that, kind of the same way. So over here is where you're gonna push through your little rubbers, and then once this goes on top of it, what happens is this little guy goes on top of here, and it'll mount 2 bolts into here and 2 bolts over here holding the caliper to the bracket, and you will have your slider pins, these guys, go through here, which is going to allow for movement of the caliper to squeeze and de-squeeze, squeeze and release. And again, you're going to want to put some anti-seize along this portion too. Anywhere where there's moving parts, you're going to want to do that. So that's about it for today. Got everything all greased up, anti-seized, and locked nice in place. Don't forget, you're going to want to use some brake cleaner on your rotors, of course. I heard it's bad to get on the pads, but I don't remember who I heard it from, so I can't tell you if it's a good source or not. But yeah, so this is putting the brakes on, a little tutorial. It's not a tutorial because I probably did it wrong, but this is the brakes on the car, and I trust this to stop me once I plummet. Anyway, take care, comb your hair, have a good one.